Welcome to hell. Do you have any idea why you're here? Is it just because my father is Saddam Hussein? Hello God. He's here. Remember kids, pay your taxes. Smallpox. Humanity. Never again. Never ask a woman her age. A man. His salary. Woodrow Wilson. What happened in Columbus, New Mexico in 1916? Holy Roman Empire. After killing its best general Wallenstein in the 30 Years' War. Yeah. This is big brain time. The tallest person in a 14th century English village. I'm the greatest villain of all time. Every pre-20th century Chinese novel. Did we just become blood brothers? Yes. Who would win? Over 500 Red Army soldiers. Some Finnish farmer. I have an army. We have a York. You're being attacked by a member of the Hashishin. Panic. You managed to kill him with only a minor wound to your arm. Calm. His dagger was poisoned. Panic. Making alcohol illegal. Making killing animals and eating meat illegal. Constantinople 1453. Did I lock the gate? When you ask the Mongols how they conquered the world, I just kept feigning retreat and it kept working. Richard the Lionheart, I won't put you in irons if you surrender. I sark commoners, thank you, I surrender. Puts him in specially commissioned silver shackles. When I am in an extremely long title competition and my opponent is a book from early modern Europe. Visualizing in the mirror the man I want to become. Germans every couple generations. Europe. When you launch a coup, but only one dude follows you. German generals coping in the memoirs. British generals coping in their memoirs. Patton's fake diary. America mythologizing MLK, based on that one speech. King being a vocal anti-capitalist socialist. Ugh, why are there so many Muslims in Austria? We should return to the good old days, when they were not here. The good old days. Let every Muslim subject of mine know that the trumpet of jihad is calling. Yes, my Kaiser. Glory to Allah and Austria. Saint Nick in modern folklore. Saint Nick in medieval folklore. Some dude in Prague fall from the window. So it begins. You wrote an extra long report to inform the emperor while praising him. He punishes you because he hates long report. You rewrite either report to be under 500 words and became the standard for future reports. The emperor still punishes you because it knows you clearly can keep things short but didn't. Open up, Mr. President. It's time for your afternoon rectal feeding. Yes, doctor. King Kalaniʻapu of Hawaii upon his death. His son Kiwalao becoming king of Hawaii. His nephew Kamehameha becoming guardian of the god of war. In Otodatka after no one wants to make a map of Japan. Fine, I'll do it myself. Wait, it's all Memellion cavalry? Always has been. I've got 94 theses. And a bit chained one. How England is portrayed in media when fighting France. How England is portrayed in media when fighting Scotland. France trying to establish a monarchy in Mexico. America finishing its civil war. You might be badass, but you'll never be a woman holding the title of King Badass. Our gunpowder warehouse was struck by a lightning. So we use the Pantheon as a substitute and house civilians in it. The Venetians don't give a duck. The Venetians don't give a duck. Russian 2nd Pacific Naval Squadron. British fishing trawlers. George Washington. May 1754. We go into the Pennsylvanian wilderness to tell the French to leave. We win the first skirmish and lose the second one and retreat back to Virginia. Europe is now at war. Europe is now at war. It's January 1st, 1943 and you become the Führer. Your goal is to win the war, or at the minimum stave off unconditional surrender. What do you do? Step 1. First World War literature be like, war is hell. War is hell. Expectation. The relationship between imperial Chinese citizens and the state. Fealty, undying loyalty, and subordination to authority. Reality. Grover Cleveland trying to get Liliuokalani back on the throne of Hawaii. Liliuokalani wanting those who overthrew her beheaded. Iraq invades Kuwait, USA. I wish that I could go back in time, so I could blow everybody's incredible knowledge of the future. So how do you make one of these cell phones? I don't know. In 1895 Ohio, there exists only 2 cars in the entire state. Okay. And then they crashed to each other. A brief history of Hawaii. Otobus when Ramabus mourn the fall of Rome. Otobus when they celebrate the fall of Rome. The Allies after World War II be like USA, USSR, UK, France, Poland, China, India. The USSR when it accidentally created the best-selling video game on the world capitalist market. Communist countries. Lyshenkoism. Athens 440 BCE. We've almost finished building these long-ass walls from Athens to Piraeus. Should we name them? Yeah, but how? I think I have an idea. Long wall. You are a Zeus damn genius. French miners. Polish miners. The French unionist who thinks that their strikes against the Germans will be a bloodbath. Polish wives who speak German. The next historical character movie will focus on. Why do you think you deserve that? They had to tone down on historical accuracy on me because it'd look too absurd. Right this way. I finally found it. After 15 years. The Scroll of Truth. Joan of Arc likely never fought herself. Movie directors. Nien. I need someone to save us from the Aztec. Maybe send an angel. The best angel you have. Laughs in Spanish. Wake up on January 5th, 1933. Good morning. Robert. Dies. US slavery in decline as major cash crops cheapen and abolition rises. Invent cotton gin to automate a labor-intensive task and reduce need for slaves. Cotton well farming skyrockets, reinvigorating slavery. Slavery continues strong for 70 years and is only ended after a major war. Cotton dependency almost got UK to side with the South. Americans, we only have black slaves. Ottomans, we have white slaves. The Romans, slave is slave. Sometimes, you just need to go for a ride to clear your head. Parliament when Germany violates the Treaty of Versailles. I sleep. Parliament when Edward VIII attempts to marry an American actress who has divorced. Real shit. Plato. I know philosophy. Socrates. Show me. Dude. Benson is so gonna fire us this time. I can't believe we lost him. Where did he go? Finland, give me your land. But you all are so many, and my land so small. Where will I find the place to bury you all? How the duck did Comini get away with having a sidekick named Comini? That's some Mario and Luigi shit. The kids in cinema watching Moana to then seeing that Disney made 100% historically accurate Maui death. From 1802 to 1805, Napoleon dispatched about 5,000 Polish legionaries to Saint-Domingue, modern-day Haiti, as part of his massive effort to contain the slave rebellion that had arisen in 1791. However, a group of Polish soldiers opposed Napoleon's efforts to subjugate the rebels. You alright, white boy? Attila the Hun, rampaging from the east of Europe all the way to the eternal city that is Rome. Rome sent out what appears to be a old man with a scroll that basically says, "No, Attila the Hun." Unhealthy relationships. Let's forget about it. I love you. I love you too. Healthy relationships. The empire was better. Augustus is the best Roman leader. The republic was better. Cicero is based. Estonians in 1918, when they need more men to fight the Bolsheviks and see young schoolboys. You'll be a soldier. It was a canon event. People who call Rommel one of the greatest tank commanders. Rommel who used infantry tactics. The Middle Ages. The Middle Ages in movies. A samurai would not defeat a conqueror. They defeated them in the Philippines. Those being pirates. Not real samurai. Real Spanish-Japanese relations. In gratitude for saving shipwrecks of my kingdom, please accept this humble gift. Philip. I will treasure this artifact all my life. Poland in 13th, 14th century after all of Western Europe banished highly skilled bankers, entrepreneurs, merchants and literary people. Kashmir III the Great. It's free real estate. Odysseus when he is just trying to get home to his wife, but he keeps getting sent on random ass teachers. How long is this going to take? Writings on Musashi's life rarely mention his relationship with women, and often when they do Musashi is regularly depicted as rejecting sexual advances in favor of focusing on his swordsmanship. Please marry me. I love you. Haha. Katana go swoosh. Ancient Greece man. I'll use olive oil as a contraceptive. Ancient Greece woman. Okay. Also ancient Greece woman. Got pregnant anyway. Xenophon. My friend Socrates said that young men need to exercise to always be ready to defend the city. Plato. My friend Socrates said that the soul has 3 parts like the 3 parts of an ideal city. Socrates. I don't know shit. You have freed us. Oh, I wouldn't say freed. More like under new management. Austria. Georgia. Giving the world some of its most brutal dictators, but nobody remembers you for it. Close your eyes bro. Okay bro, what do you see? Nothing. That's the tribute I pay you, bro. Pope Pius IX. I will excommunicate the first person to fire on the Vatican. The Jewish artillery officer. Do it. I don't care. Most of the West when Japan first opened its borders. A bunch of unequal treaties. Mexico casually drops a proper treaty between them and Japan. Most of the West. You weren't supposed to do that. Saladin. Strict and cruel which should be like any common general should. Literally Saladin when he heard Richard got sick and was notified that his horse got wounded in the battle. Sent him ice, peaches, pears and a fresh horse. Now Germany. Sending Lenin to Russia in 1916. Germany in 1945. Republicans in Wisconsin in 1889. German, Polish, Scandinavian communities. Making English the only language of instructions in both public and private schools. Why would they vote for the Democrats? A modern cruise ship compared to the Titanic. Chinese Muslims watching the events of the Taiping Rebellion. Dadak they doing over there. When you're reading the Wikipedia entry for Lysenkoism and you stumble upon Stanislav Kosia's Wikipedia page. Martin Luther after nailing some paper to a door. This will totally alter the course of European history. Source. I translated it from gold plate side dug up out of the ground. A prostitute got approached by a random yet rich looking bloke. That random bloke is literally the Prime Minister of the British Empire no less. Gladstone found her, brought her home, give her food, and obviously tea cause why not, a promise job and hefty load of Christian lectures. The prostitute the entire time. Huh. I bring a sort of unconditional surrender vibe to the peace negotiations that Confederate don't really like. A tutor from Falerii, which was under siege from Camillus' army, and thought it was a good idea to use the children as a hostage to force the city's surrender. Spoiler alert, Camillus did not like that and gave the kids a bunch of rods to beat the duck out of the tutor on his way back to the besieged city. This is a Tower of Babel, bitch. Fact: 90% of military generals quit right before they're about to take the Slovenian plateau. Posts about Armenia exist. The comment section. Other people: oh my god, my ancestors were nobles of House Beerbretz. Meanwhile, my ancestors. About midnight on the 17th of May, Osbert Lewuel, son of William Crustamus of Gulstow, who was drunk and disgustingly overfed, came from Bedford towards his house. When he arrived at his house, he had the falling sickness, fell upon a stone on the right side of his head, breaking the whole of his head, and died by misadventure. I can't wait to learn more about post-colonial African history. Random general takes power, becomes a dictator and kills 100,000 people, gets assassinated and replaced by another violent general who kills twice the amount of people. If I had a nickel every time a rare storm event entirely destroyed one of my invasion fleets that could have changed the course of Asian history, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it is weird that it happened twice. The Romans loved the herb silphium very much and would use it for daily basis, like in medicine and condiment. Also, the Romans, when they realized there's no more said herb to find, because they gathered that thing too much to extinction within less than a century. Screams in Italian. Enters. Studies to become an eye surgeon. Proclaims himself as a chevalier and claims to be from an aristocratic family. Uses outdated techniques on his patients while making false claims about his treatments. Operates on composers J.S. Bach and G.F. Handel. Ends up blinding both of them. Goes on to blind hundreds more patients across Europe. Dies while suffering from amaurosis, which renders him completely blind. What happened to her? She got to the bit where they assassinated Aurelian. I need some pikes. For fish hunting, right? Yeez. Actually makes 17th century defense strategy like a boss. Pie time. If I had a nickel for every time a Napoleon invaded a Hispanic nation, just got beaten so hard he lost his empire a bit later, I'd have 2 nickels. Which isn't a lot, but it's weird it happened twice. Let me get this straight. You think late Roman armor looks cooler than 2nd century armor? I do. And I'm tired of pretending it isn't. The Teutonic Order, when Lithuania has a civil war and Poland is busy fighting with them. 1431. The Poles and Lithuanians are fighting. This is our chance. Who are? We are from Thorn. Why? They were our trade rivals. Understandable. Have a nice day. Wars of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth be like. We will fight for God. For honor. For fatherland. I really hope so. Because certainly not for the money. Because we don't have it. Koreans. Japanese. Hating Chinese. Japanese. Chinese. Hating Koreans. Koreans. Chinese. Hating Japanese. How did the war end? How did World War II end? Try to find the right content and pictures. The war ended when all German people were happy because farming was going well. Hitler realized his mistake and stopped the war. The war ended when the atomic bomb was dropped on Hiroshima, Japan. Hitler stopped the war when all the children in the world wrote letters asking him to stop the war. Me reading about mythology. A genuinely wholesome story which teaches good values to those who read it. A story ducked up beyond any form of human comprehension. An endless crucible of humankind's worst possible natures. A testament of how ducked up any human can be. You lived around the area? Yes. Where? In the White House, you egghead. Oh, you want to learn auxiliary sidearm self-defense? But women lack samurai spirit. Sword 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 sword. Use a woman's weapon, like this battlefield primary sword spear glaive that made the Japanese islands in our creation myth. Sword 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 sword. 1519. Your Highness, I have come here prepared to travel towards the Spice Islands with 5 ships and 270 men of Spain. May God guide you on this voyage. 1522. What happened? We succeeded, but suffered greatly. Abraham Lincoln's family trying to mourn his death. President Andrew Johnson explaining how he would have defeated Booth and saved the day. Billions of people with butts should celebrate this dude, Sir Harrington, for making arguably one of the most taken for granted invention that humanity have been using to this day since 1596. A holiday would be nice. You are accused of base behavior. The court finds you kingly and sentences you to be praised. Dude, Benson is gonna be so pissed. 15th century Christian conquerors turning a peninsula with a rich, centuries-old Islamic heritage into an enormous multi-continental Christian empire. No Jews or Muslims allowed. 15th century Muslim conquerors turning a peninsula with a rich, centuries-old Christian heritage into an enormous multi-continental Islamic empire. Jews and Christian allowed. Mark 6687. Me, go to hardware store to buy some bolts. Also me, some employee put the wrong packages in the display. Also me, has to start emptying the display to find the right ones buried at the bottom.